What's up, y'all? Welcome if you're new, welcome back if you're not to my channel. If you're new here and probably don't know, my name is Tyann and I'm a licensed realtor here in the state of South Carolina. I am currently servicing the Columbia and Fort Jackson area. So if you or anyone that you know are PCSing here, relocating here, or in general just looking to buy or sell a home here, I am your homegirl. But wait, Tyann, I don't live in South Carolina, and I'm not looking to buy or sell there, but I am looking to buy or sell where I currently live. I am still your homegirl because my geographical network expands across all 50 states, and I can definitely help you get started with the process as well as refer you to a trusted realtor in your area. Now that we've gotten that out the way, if you clicked on this video, it's probably because you are a buyer and you're contemplating what are your options. To be realistic, you only have two options. You either are going to purchase a new construction home or a resale home. A resale home just means it's a home that someone else lived in. So you're buying the home from a person or persons versus with a new construction, you're normally buying it from a builder or from a company. Both options have plenty of pros, but they also have quite a few cons, and I'm just here to kind of run through that list with you to help make your decision just a little bit easier. So if you're in the market for a new construction or a resale home and you want to find out what the pros and cons are, just keep watching. So we're going to go ahead and start with a new construction. And I know what you're thinking, there are cons to having a new construction. And I just want you guys to know, not only am I speaking factually, but as far as the new construction goes, I am also speaking from personal experience. For those of you guys that don't know, my husband and I closed on our new home about 6 months ago, and it was in fact a new construction home. So I am speaking from personal experience as well as professional experience as a realtor in the area. So the first two pros off the top of my head that I can think of going new construction route versus the resale route is that with the new construction, there may be less money up front. That is not a guarantee. However, when you're dealing with a builder, they normally have their preferred amounts that they prefer upfront or as an earnest money deposit. So just to put it into a little bit of a narrative and example, my builder required 3.5% down for an earnest money deposit. And that was just the standard for this specific builder at the time. It didn't matter what floor plan you were getting, they were just requiring 3.5% upfront. Another pro of a new construction is you have more customization. Unfortunately, at the time that I'm filming this video in June of 2022, or better yet, even when I purchased my home 6 months ago, because of the pandemic, because of the shortage of materials, shortage of workers, they were not allowing very many customizations. And I know some of you may be a little confused, like, what do you mean? You got a new construction and you didn't get to customize it? No, we actually did not. When we found this home, the floor plan was already created and the foundation, which is the cement foundation that the house is built on, was already done, and the framework, aka the wood beams and studs, were also already built. So they already knew what floor plan they were building and on what lot they were building. So we didn't get a say in any of those things. And also because COVID-19 had a drastic effect on the materials, a lot of materials were delayed or became super expensive. So we didn't get to customize things like the flooring or the tiles, anything of that sort. We pretty much bought the floor plan as is. They already told us what they were going to put in it. We either accepted it as is or moved forward. In the height that we bought our home, like I said, it was the height of the pandemic. So if you wanted additional customizations, it was going to take a lot longer and require a lot of money. And most builders just at that time weren't willing to deal with that. They just wanted to pretty much sell homes as is. Some other pros of going the new construction route are there may be some financial perks. Again, speaking from personal experience, my specific builder has a preferred lender, as I'm sure almost all builders do. At the time that my husband and I went under contract for our home, if we went with the builder's preferred lender, that specific lender was giving us $3,500 towards closing costs. Exactly. So you heard that right, $3,500. So $3,500 they gave us for free just for going with their preferred lender. Another perk of going new construction is more often than not, a warranty will already be included in the purchase of the home. However, it will be a limited time warranty. Again, personal experience, our warranty was for 12 months. So the first year, any and everything is covered under our warranty, and we can get not any and everything, but almost every and anything. We can get it fixed, replaced, and it's covered under warranty. The next thing on my list of pros, this would be on my list of pros and cons because it just kind of depends on what you as an individual are looking for. When you go a new construction route, there is no home history. So if you're looking for a home that, has just that loving, genuine feel, or, you find out that there was a family that lived in it for 20 something years and they were madly in love. Like if you're looking for a home with history and with a story, you're not going to get that with a new construction. Chances are it was an empty lot. They bulldozed all the trees out of it, started building, or knocked something else down to start building. So like I said, that one could be a pro or a con depending on what you're looking for in your home. Another pro of going the new construction route is that your first year of taxes are going to be relatively cheaper than if you go the resale route. However, notice I said your first year of taxes. How that works is you get taxed pretty much in arrears, so kind of on the back end. So the first year that you live in your home, when you get that tax bill, it's going to be for the time kind of prior. They don't have anything to go off. So therefore, they're going to estimate your taxes on what the taxes of last year was. Last year was an empty lot. Taxes on an empty lot are a lot cheaper than taxes on a neighborhood development. So that first year of taxes is going to be relatively lower. However, the flip side of that is expect your taxes to go up the second year, because the second year they're going to go off the previous year. Previous year there were houses there. So if that kind of makes sense, it could be a pro, it could be a con. Again, one of those things that just kind of depends on what you're looking for. But as far as money is concerned, it will be cheaper in that route to go new construction. And the last thing on my kind of list of pros is, again, one of the ones that could go either or, pro or con, is the possibility of underdevelopment. Personal experience, my husband and I, when we moved into our new construction, we were a part of like the first 20 homes built. So we were on the only street that was complete. For some people, that's a dream, to not live in a super dense, super crowded development right off the back, and you kind of get to be the OGs of the neighborhood and watch the neighborhood grow and develop. Again, that is another one of those things that has a flip side. It is very, very loud during the day because they are building everyone else's new home. So it's one of those things where it's like you get to enjoy it for a little while, but the rest of the neighborhood is coming whether you like it or not. Now moving into the cons regarding a new construction. So some cons associated with a new construction is a longer closing. Again, like I stated, if you are buying a home post-pandemic, supplies are still harder for builders to get their hands on than it was pre-pandemic. So things are getting extended. New constructions are constantly being delayed. So you're going to have a longer closing, you're going to have more delays. So that if you need to be out of your current place at a certain time, a new construction may or may not work for you because the builder is going to be done when they're going to be done. You cannot get them to move any faster. Some other cons associated with the new construction is that overall the contract is a little less negotiable. Builders tend to kind of be cut and dry. Again, my opinion is a little bit biased in that aspect because, like I said, I did purchase my home during the pandemic, so there wasn't really any choices. You either take it or you leave it. Someone else would buy it if you would not. So that kind of tends to be the generic aspect of new construction. The builders are just like, it's either unless you're going custom build where you're literally brick by brick picking everything out. If you're going more a regular new construction where they're in a subdivision of some sort, like the builder's only going to be willing to change so much. You have a lot less wiggle room than you would if you were dealing with a specific person or persons like you would with a resale. Again, the last one is a little bit biased because of my personal experience, but the last con that I have for new construction is they tend to be of lower quality. And I don't want to scare anyone away from new constructions by saying that. I'm just here to be honest, and y'all know I'm gonna keep it real. These new constructions, they going up fast as hell. So because they're going up so fast, and I'm not talking about prices, I'm talking about they are physically being built extremely fast. You guys heard me say my husband and I moved into our area 6 months ago, and with COVID delays, they have cleared a street behind us. They have started building homes. These new constructions are going up literally like that. So if a house is being built in less than 6 months, I'm not saying that these builders are cutting corners. I'm just saying they probably aren't using top of the line. You picking up what I'm putting down. Versus a resale, you're getting an older home, maybe built in the 90s, early 2000s, maybe even older than that. Those houses tend to, factual, this is a fact, this is not opinion, they are made of a lot more sustainable materials. Chances are it's brick. These newer houses are made out of wood and plastic siding. So it's just one of those things. It depends on what you're looking for. But in my personal experience, new constructions do tend to be of slightly lower quality than resale homes do. Now moving into the pros and cons of going the resale route. So like I mentioned earlier, it just means you're buying the home from a specific person or persons versus a builder or a company. So to piggyback off where I just left, pro of going resale is they tend to be of higher quality. That is not always true. If you are that person purchasing a home that someone else bought as a new construction, let's say you're in a military town, the turnover rate is extreme. We're moving every 2 or 3 years. So if someone bought a new construction 2 years ago and they're now selling it, that classifies it as a resale. However, that home will probably be of lower quality than if you're buying a resale home from someone whose house is 10 years old. It's just about materials. The materials that were readily available back then and were cheaper back then are not readily available and a lot more expensive. So the resale home is going to tend to be of higher quality. Another pro of going the resale route is they tend to have quicker closings. That's not a guarantee. The average time to close on a home is still 30 to 45 days. However, you have more wiggle room, a lot more wiggle room when you go the resale route. Like I said, with the new construction, it's going to be done when it's going to be done. A resale, the house is already finished. It's just a matter of how fast can the seller get out and how fast can you as the buyer qualify for that loan or provide proof of funds in the event that you're paying cash. Another pro of going the resale route is it's a more personable experience. Like I said, you're dealing with a specific person or persons. So you get a little bit of history behind maybe why they're selling, how long the seller has been in the home. Another pro is that those contracts tend to be a lot more negotiable because, like I said, you're dealing with a specific person. There is a lot more back and forth that can happen because the seller may be willing to budge on this, but may not be willing to budge on that. You, the buyer, may be willing to budge on this, may be willing to budge on that. So it just opens the floor for a lot more negotiating and a lot more conversation than you would have if you were dealing with a company or a builder. Like I said, they gonna tell you take it or leave it. That's just what it is. And the last two things I have on the pro list are one of those things, same as new construction, that could go either pro or con. So one of them being neighborhood development. So if you're buying a resale, chances are the neighborhood is already complete. Like I said, it just depends on what you're looking for. So if you want to immediately move in and have a bunch of neighbors and, have a well-developed neighborhood, maybe there's already a park, maybe there's a community pool, all of those things are going to be a lot more likely when you go the resale route. But that just depends on if those are things that you care about or are looking for on your home search. And the last thing, pro conish, is the home history. When you go the resale route, chances are that home has history. Chances are that home has a story. You get a little bit more in depth of, kind of what has happened here, what the vibe was. Once you find out why the sellers are selling or how long they've lived in the home, you'll be able to get a gist of, wow, like this home served, as a family home where families got together. And if you're looking for that kind of love story with your home, you are more than likely going to find it if you go the resale route. Now, moving into the cons of going the resale route. First one, upfront, less customization. The house is already done. The seller's only going to be willing to make as many repairs or changes as they can afford or as they honestly just want to. So it's given, take it or leave it, or this is all I'm doing and do with it what you will kind of energy. So there's a lot less customization. And that's really important to note when you're going the resale route. Keep in mind, you have to take off those HGTV glasses. There is no such thing as the perfect home, regardless of which route you go. But if you're going the resale route, understand that you are shopping and looking at someone else's home. Chances are it may not be empty, so it may still have their belongings in it. So you have to kind of turn that all off and envision your belongings and your family in this home. It's a lot harder to do than you would imagine, but just keep in mind you're buying someone else's home. When you go the resale route, another con is you may end up paying more money up front. You will have a due diligence fee depending on what state you're in. The seller may, like I said, with new constructions, most builders kind of have like an average of what they expect an earnest money deposit to be. However, when you go the resale route, anything and everything is negotiable. So the seller could want 10% earnest money down. They could want 5%, 1%. You just never really know what you're going to get upfront cost wise when we're dealing with a resale, because like I said, we are dealing with a specific person or persons. Some other cons to note if you decide to go the resale route is chances are there may not be a warranty included. There may be, if the seller has already paid their warranty up for the year, they may allow you to keep that warranty and then you just reimburse them from the day of closing to the end of the year what that portion would be, what that prorated portion would be. But chances are you're not going to get many warranties, especially on things like your appliances and things like that. Those appliances have already been used and chances are those warranties have long expired. So something to keep in mind. Another con with going the resale route is that there aren't many financial perks. Like I mentioned, with new constructions, they usually have some type of perk or credit you could get by going through the builder's preferred people of XYZ. It doesn't even have to be a lender. With a resale, the sellers are not trying to give away money, especially, like I said, it depends on what market you're in, but in June of 2022, it is still a seller's market. So sellers are not dishing out any money. However, if the roles were reversed, which they will because the market always shifts every 6 to 8 years, once we are back in a buyer's market, it's going to be a lot more houses for sale than there are people trying to buy. So once a seller gets a buyer to bite, they're going to want to do anything and everything that they can to make sure that that deal goes smoothly and makes it to the closing table. So a seller in a buyer's market will be more likely to throw you closing cost money. So it's not to say that there are no financial perks. It just depends on the market that you're shopping in. And the very last con that I have on my resale list is that there are the possibility of liens. So when you go the resale route, what a lien just means is, so if there's a lien on a property, in layman's terms, it just means someone has the right to come and take possession of that property. There are things like general liens. So for example, your mortgage is a lien. If there is a mortgage on the property, that seller has to pay that mortgage to get that mortgage company to remove that lien so that you, the buyer, can purchase that property. Another example, if that seller had some renovation work done and it amounted to $10,000. There's no cost cap, but I'm just throwing numbers out there. They had $10,000 worth of renovations done, but for some reason skipped out on the contractor, did not pay the contractor. That contractor could go down to the courthouse and file what's called a mechanic's lien and put a lien on that property. So that seller could not sell that property without that $10,000 being satisfied. If you, the buyer, do not make sure that you run a title search or that your attorney's office runs a title search, there could be a lien on the property. And once that property has exchanged possession, once keys have been exchanged, money has been accounted for, that is now your property. And any liens remaining on that property are you, the buyer's responsibility. And you don't want that. You should not have to foot a $10,000 bill for renovations that you didn't. You get what I'm saying? So with a resale, there is a lot higher possibility of additional liens, aside from a mortgage, because that's the most common one. So you just want to make sure that you're hiring a good title company to do a good title search, or having your attorneys point you in the right direction to have a good, thorough title search, title history, title abstract done so that you know what liens are on this property that you're trying to purchase. And that is pretty much all I have for you guys. I tried to keep it as short, sweet, and simple as possible. Those were the pros and cons of going the resale versus the new construction route. Either or, you're going to get a home, and it's going to be a beautiful one, I'm sure. So, like I mentioned before, if you or anybody that you know are PCS and to or from Fort Jackson or relocating to Columbia, South Carolina, I'm your homegirl, and y'all know the vibes. Make sure you follow me on Instagram right here. Make sure that you also follow me on Twitter, also right here. And if you want a more personal, in-depth kind of dive into who I am and my journey becoming a mom, a military wife, becoming a realtor, all of those things, make sure that you guys subscribe to my podcast right here. It's available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, anywhere that you can find podcasts, you can find your girl. So if you thought that this video was helpful in any way, please give this video a big thumbs up. Please share it with anyone that you feel like needs to know this information, and comment down below. Are you currently looking for a home? Are you leaning more towards new construction or resale? And tell me why, and we can talk about it in the comments. But until then, I will see you, yes, you, next week, because I drop a video every week. And if this one was helpful, don't you think the next one will be too? So I'll give you a second to subscribe. Okay, cool. Appreciate it. You are officially a part of the gang now. So I will see you, yes, you, same time, same place next week. Peace, y'all.